Bushman with us in Studio B. Matt, great to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, tell us about the number one deciding factor in your choice to return for a senior year instead of pursue the NFL.
I feel like there wasn't necessarily like one huge deciding factor. For me, it was kind of, my wife and I were back and forth a lot of the time, like, okay, I think we're going. And then the next day, okay, wait, maybe we should stick it out. It was just back and forth. It was really hard to figure out what to do. And for us, it was more just like a win-win either way. If I went for it, it'd be great. I think I would have been able to have a shot and succeed in the NFL. Just, you never know what can happen. But I also was confident that, okay, I can fine-tune some things, get better in this offseason, have a healthy offseason, and overall just hopefully improve that stock coming into after playing next season. So just a bunch of small things, but at the end of the day, it just felt better to stick it out and finish my career here.
When did you come to this conclusion?
I talked with the coaches like a little bit. Like our final little talk was in Hawaii, and yeah, we just kind of figured that it would be best if I stayed, and with some opportunities to not only me but just use all of our players to just utilize us more to our strengths, and that's what hopefully we're going to do, and I think that can help our team succeed more.
I know you have to be very careful in who you talk to and when you talk to them as you decide between school and going to the NFL, but what kind of feedback were you getting from personnel that matter at the next level?
Yeah, it's hard. Like sometimes you just wish it'd be more set in stone, like what your stock is, because people say, yeah, you have a shot to go. If you tested really well and had great numbers, you could be, who knows, like a third or fourth rounder. But other people are like, well, you just don't know how the draft goes. If certain positions get drafted before the tight ends, who knows? You could go all the way 6, 7, maybe even undrafted. So it's just really, if I would have left, I would have just had to bet on myself and train really hard and just think that I could put up some great numbers. But yeah, at the end of the day, just who knows what's going to happen next year, but I'm just excited for another season with the team, and just hopefully we can all improve.
Who helped influence you the most in this decision?
Definitely, it was definitely just my wife and I. My parents, it's just cool for me, it's been a dream of mine to play professional sport. Like I grew up playing football, basketball, baseball, and I always just said, I don't know what I want to do, I just want to play in the pros. So just knowing that like Heavenly Father was able to understand my dreams and my goals, and just to have that chance, that was huge. So my parents were super excited once I was getting that attention. My in-laws also, knowing Chad, who's been able to make it at the next level and do really well, just listening to him. But yeah, there was, at the end of the day, it was just Emily and myself just trying to tune out the stuff that we didn't really want to hear, and the extra stuff saying, like, encouraging us to go. Because, once you have a shot to go to the NFL, everyone's like, man, you got to go for it. But once we just realized it'd be better to stay, we just kind of had to tune out some of those things and make that decision for ourselves.
Yeah, it's tough when guys like Todd McShay and Mel Kiper are saying Matt Bushman is an NFL tight end, not to be kind of swayed in that direction. But you've mentioned you wanted to hone your craft. So where do you feel like you can get better the most before you do take that NFL step?
Some of the things that I realized after this season, and just during this season, blocking is always going to be something that I will need to improve at and get better at throughout who knows how long my career goes for, but that's just something that I know I'll need to work on, and just staying low, getting more flexible. And the other big thing is I felt like I'm pretty good at getting open in zone. When a defense is playing zone, I can find the little holes, but I could definitely be more physical when man-to-man defense and guys are pressing me. Just my releases and just being more physical at the top of my routes.
How'd you feel about your stats? 47 catches, 688 yards. That's a personal best for you in a season, and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's cool just to see. I mean, it's fun catching the ball and making plays, but I mean, I'd say for myself and kind of as a team, we weren't super happy with the way we finished out the season or just the season in general. We won some cool games, lost some games that we definitely should have won, and it's just motivating just to see we have a tough schedule coming up next year. We play a lot of really good teams, so I mean, we just have to get after it, and hopefully we can just work together better as a team and have a great last season for myself and Kairos and all the other seniors.
We found out the 2020 season will open on a Thursday night officially against Utah. So another Thursday night, primetime spectacular in the rivalry format, this time in Salt Lake City. What do you think of playing the Utes again on Thursday night to open the season?
I mean, I'm excited whenever we play them. It's an exciting game, and I mean, this will be my last hurrah against them. So we're going to work really hard this offseason to figure out the best way we can compete with them and hopefully beat them for my last year.
You caught passes from 3 different starting quarterbacks. Describe what that experience was like as you try and create a chemistry with that guy and an understanding, and the ball comes out of his hand differently, whatever. 3 different dudes, and they're all back going into 2020.
Yeah, I mean, during the season, it's definitely hard. Like, preseason, you want to get that chemistry, and then once the season hits, you're like, that chemistry should be made already.
Even with like the third stringer, that's not that typical, right?
Well, that's not typical. So once that happened, like, it was definitely hard, I think, for our offense and for some receivers, just the quarterbacks understand what we're expecting and what we want to do and the timing of everything. It's tough, but I think our quarterbacks did a good job of making up for that and still figuring it out. So going into this season, I mean, I've played with a bunch of different quarterbacks in my career just because of injury. I'm just going to do the best that I can to gain that chemistry with those 3 guys instead of focusing on 1 or 2 guys. So this offseason is going to be interesting, just working with all of them.
BYU now senior tight end Matt Bushman with us on BYU old. Sports Nation. I know, senior, old man Bushman in Studio B. What? If you could compare your game and your skill set to a guy in the NFL, or maybe someone you want to pattern yourself after, who are you looking at the next level?
I mean, there's a few guys that I've watched film, and ideally I'd want to pattern myself after guys like Travis Kelce and George Kittle. I mean, they're ballers, and they know how to get open. They know how to win. So those are guys that I want to become. But also guys like, I mean, Zach Ertz is doing a great job. He's had a great career. Eric Ebron with the Colts. Just guys like them that still can get the job done blocking, but are really good receiving tight ends and know how to get open in pretty much any situation.
I'm just envisioning you growing your hair out like George Kittle and then saying, "Can you smell what we're cooking?"
That really would be your personality,
that would be a personality change. Complete 180.
Now riddle me this. In a year from now when we're talking to you and you're training for the NFL, you growing out a beard immediately? Is that a thing? Like, are you growing your hair out in a year?
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to make sure my beard can fully grow out, you know. I can grow out like a decent facial hair, but some guys come back and it's a full-on beard, and I don't think I can do that quite yet. So I'll have to rub some of that beard cream on throughout this year and see what I can do.
You didn't mention Chad as one of those tight ends, by the way. Is that going to be weird?
Well, I was just,
oh man,
you gotta mention the current guys. I mean,
yeah. No, I feel it. I just don't want it to be weird at Sunday dinner. You know, like, hey, I saw the interview. What's up with that?
Chad has no issue with you wanting to pattern your game after Travis Kelce. I promise.
You should say a Tula Mealy every time. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
That might be a little too awkward.
Matt, great to have you in Studio B, man, and props to you for making a really tough decision. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Glad to be back.
Okay, thanks, Matt.